When you're building a house, you need a few things to be successful: a hard hat, some tools, and teamwork. Tournament wraps up tomorrow, but for now, I'm going to go work on my game so I have a chance at the Cup next year. Weekends are typically reserved for getting away from the workplace, but for these guys, they're taking some time to catch some waves on the water. Senior J.R. Spencer spent the summer doing something a little different to prepare for the season. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, there's a lot of action going on around me and behind me. Of course, we get started in about 30 minutes, but I'm here with one of the steer wrestlers, Jeb Anderson. Jeb, how are you doing today?
Great, thank you.
And how long have you been coming out to Montana Expo Park to compete? They did lose the first game of the season, but bounced back last week. They defeated Harlem Turner 50-6, and coming into Fairfield, they're looking to continue that winning momentum. Of course, we'll keep all of those Shriner Hospital patients in our thoughts as we get ready for game time. And as we get closer, as a Texan, I'm excited to see what Montana football is all about. Usually when we're talking about football, we tell you all the things the teams are doing on the field to get ready for the season. But today, we're taking you to the bowling alley. Earlier today, Voyagers General Manager Scott Reisner announced a new partnership with the University of Providence. It was also Football Friday on the soccer pitch earlier today. The Argos hosted a doubleheader with the visiting Warner Pacific Knights. Check out this magical moment on the pitch. We're going to get to that later on, but first, the counter-attack heard around the world. Daniel Hudsby with the ball from the back sparks this attack, finds Adrian Gomez streaking downfield, takes a few touches, and it's a goal, Argos! After an exciting Friday night, it's officially football season in the Treasure State. Looking at college first, MSU Northern kicked off the season earlier today in the first game of the Andrew Rowland era. The Lights pumped up for the season opener as they charge the field, and with good reason. First drive of the game, quarterback Tommy Wilson floats a long-range bomber downfield to Bryce Bumgardner for a first down. That was part of a 95-yard drive capped off by this. Wilson with the quick pitch to Jet Robertson. He boulders through the Comets defense and dives into the end zone. Last week, the Argos men's hockey team earned their first win in program history. I talked with the team earlier today about that historic moment. We can't celebrate Independence Day without a little bit of hot dog competitions. Out on Coney Island, the annual Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest was very much alive, and some familiar faces took home the coveted mustard belt. 5 different football teams with 4-5 records are fighting for the last 3 available playoff seeds in Class AA. Capitol High is a part of that logjam. Capitol, welcome back. As football season winds down, basketball season picks up starting tonight.
Running. It's a skill that most 10-year-olds have mastered, but it's taken Grant Brumwell years to hone the craft. Why?
I had bilateral club feet. This foot was up, almost facing all the way in.
His mother, Mandy, learned about the abnormality at just 22 weeks pregnant, but she didn't let that spoil the excitement of her first and only baby boy.
It's your child. I mean, no matter what, you're going to love them, and no matter what, you're going to do what you have to do for them. It's like, you love them anyway. I mean, you think they're perfect however they are.
Grant's feet were so severe, he had both legs placed in a cast at just 10 days old.
He was only 6 pounds, 8 ounces, 19 inches. I mean, he was little. And 10 days old, you take him to the doctor. Them holding my tiny baby down on a table and casting him, and he's screaming bloody murder, and he's having a fit. I think I was crying as hard as he was by the end of it.
Growing up with club feet was difficult, but it never stopped Grant from trying, especially with support from some special people.
My friends were so supportive. They signed my cast. They did a lot of stuff. It was sad because I couldn't be with my friends at recess, but it was also happy because my favorite sport was kickball at school. And when a different kid kicked for me and I got to walk to the bases when I had my cast on.
Grant has not only touched the lives of his friends and family, but made a lasting impact on his shrine doctor, Dr. Glenn Baird.
That's probably the most fun part of my job. You know what I mean? Because Grant's awesome, you know, his family's awesome. You get to know him, and you feel kind of like you're part of the family.
Today, Grant just wants to be a kid. He knows he has to work harder than some, but with the help of the hospital,
just kept trying and trying.
Whether it's showing off his prized rock collection or sharing his love of dinosaurs, or even helping the guys at practice this week. Grant wants everyone to remember one thing.
Don't be afraid to do what you like to do.
So when you attend the game this Saturday, enjoy the game, but remember kids like Grant and why it's bigger than the final score.
Pre-game routines are essential in baseball. For Voyagers pitcher Chris Camito, well, his ritual is a little off the beaten path.
This is a relaxing thing, just, coming out and doing something you really enjoy doing. Getting away from baseball, business side, stat side of things. It's fun to do.
After spending 3 years in the White Sox system, Camito says fishing has really influenced his baseball career.
I look at it as, like a pitching standpoint, as in, I'm targeting that fish. I'm trying to find what that fish is eating. As in, when I'm on the mound, I throw that first pitch. I'm seeing what that batter sees, how he's adjusting to what I'm throwing to him, trying to get that strikeout or that out. And then, that fish, you're trying to find what he's eating and what he's rising on, and then hopefully you can catch him.
He sometimes drives over an hour, but similar to delivering the winning strikeout, the drive is worth the chance of hooking the catch of the day.
There's one. I really haven't had that feeling yet with the fish. I've caught some big fish on a spinning rod, but none on a fly rod. But definitely getting that strikeout in a key moment it's a big adrenaline rush, that's for sure. This fish is actually it's a little cutthroat.
And like an unsuccessful bout on the mound, not all fishing trips pan out the way he wants.
Oh, we got off.
But he knows there's plenty of fish in the sea.
You got to trust the process. You have one bad game, you have another 8 starts before the season's over. If it doesn't end up lining up in the end, then so be it. You just say, you tried.
So until his time in Great Falls finally ends, Chris will fish on.
I got to enjoy it while I can. Fishing and baseball, nothing more you can ask for.
Reporting in Belt, Hailey Sutton, SWX Montana. When you go to a soccer game, you expect to hear a few things. The tweet of the referee blowing his whistle. Players on the field calling for the ball from their teammates. Even the cheers from the crowd supporting their team. But for Great Falls High sophomore Trevin Smith, all he hears is silence. Not only was it harder for Trevin to communicate, he also had to deal with people poking fun at him. Over time, Trevin has learned new ways to communicate, and often he has an interpreter to help him. But Trevin is also a teenage boy, and he says he doesn't want his deafness to, well, cramp his style. Although it's just his second year playing soccer, he says the sport has helped him find his voice.
He has learned to pick his head up so he can see what we're trying to get to him, and he keeps turning around and looking at us to see what's the call, what are we asking him to do, and he's gotten better and better at it throughout the last couple of years.
With the help of his teammates, Trevin gets the chance to play soccer, just like every other Bison donning the blue and white. In addition to football, Trevin is also a pretty good wrestler and hopes to become an underwater welder when he gets older. Ultimately, though, he just wants to be like everyone else, with or without hearing.
He's another guy, just another teammate.